Dee, you're muted.
Dee, you're on mute.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. This is Dee Reinhardt with Illinois WorkNet, and today we have a packed agenda. So if you are unmuted, please mute yourself so that we can, everybody can hear what I'm going to be talking about. Now, just to let everybody know, we do have a whole bunch of updates that went to production, meaning they are live and active. And I will copy this into the chat here for you, but this is the link where you can find everything. And if I'm going to try and cover every single thing on here just so that everybody knows what's going on, but just in case you need to go back and look at it, I did put this link in the chat. Now I'm going to move it out of the way, and we're going to talk here about the changes to the career plan. We got all of these out into production, and we do have some pre-populated steps that are required for your participants. We do have an option now, and I'm showing you this in test because I don't want to show any live data. We do have an option now for on those steps for one of those customers. You can mark a step as evaluated, not required, and the date will disappear. So on a step that is pre-populated on your newest customers, if you have a step that has been pre-populated, for example, this manage anger conflict resolution is a pre-populated step. If you mark it as evaluated and not required, meaning that participant does not need to go to anger management or conflict resolution workshop, you mark it as evaluated, not required, and the dates go away. You can update the customer service, add a case note saying whatever your evaluation was that you decided that that customer didn't require it. Although I'll tell you, sometimes a situation arises, you may want to put them through it anyway. So you add that case note. Oh, I forgot to put in some things here. So sorry. That's still good. All right, and now it entered. A required case note cannot be bypassed for any steps for a referral to services. So in your build a plan, if you have any of those required steps, pre-populated steps for a referral to service, or whether you select a referral to a service, those case notes cannot be bypassed because we want to know who, when, and where you referred that customer to for that particular referral to a service. On the application for the customer, we do now have a print option. This print option it fills out all of, or shows everything that was filled out. You can have the case manager sign it if you want to have the youth sign it. We probably need to make a line adjustment for that, but at least the case manager signature is there. And it will be able to be printed. Does everybody want to add? I'm not watching your faces right now. So do you want me to add that? Raise your hand in the chat or click a yes on the list of participants if you want that customer signature line added. All right, we'll get that added. Let me make a note. We have new situations on the application. And I marked all of them on this particular customer. So one of the things that we will be doing, it's all of these items at the bottom of the page. We added these, and I've got a method for everybody to add them for all of the customers prior to January 12th that you've added. It's going to take a little bit of follow-up, but we're going to try to get that done for you. So all of these items are new, and they are added into the system. So any new customers, they will automatically show up. We have changed, let me get back to get out of this. In the worksite placement, we have added a piece where the stipend, so if you add a step for the customers that say stipend or incentive based placement has taken place and you enter dates, those dates will reflect in this table right here. And we are working on, right now we are working on making sure that there is not the ability for you to overlap them, and that there is not, so that they add the stipend incentive together with any subsidized worksite placements, so that the total number of days is not exceeded for those customers. Charlisa, I've got a method for you to do for those situations, so give me just a minute. On the worksite placement items, you are asked for some dates. We're working on the update history to make sure that that all flows properly. It was a whole lot more complicated to get it fixed than it was to build it initially. So we're working on getting that repaired right now. Case in the assessments in the assessments, I'm going to just have to tell you about this one. On the Casey Life Skills, we expanded the block for you to put a description. You do need to upload your Casey Life Skills extended version of the results of that customer. And we are going to have an option for your PPR. We just discussed it this morning, that you will need to make sure that you upload the case plan associated with that Casey Life Skills. And there will be a checkbox added to the progress page for that. Then we've got, okay, let me show you on the progress page. Oh my goodness, what's happening to me?
Happened to us earlier as well.
Yeah, well, we know what that problem was, but this problem shouldn't be happening to me right now. Oh.
But it's nice to know that it happens to you every now and then also. Well,
but this is test. And so test is one of those things, but one of my programmers broke it earlier today. So let me send a real quick message off to that programmer so that he can fix, they won't be able to fix it during my call, I don't think. I can move out and move back in. My test. Second, 12. You get a screenshot and send this to him. Thank you for your patience, everybody. We use Teams with all the folks around, and it's really nice because then I can get something off to somebody right away. All right, so let's see what else I can try to show you here. Oh, let's see if we can get this part to work. On the grantee details, we have, if you select a program and a provider, I'm not sure if you guys will have to select a provider or if it will automatically default to your agency. I haven't tested that in production recently. We have added the ability for you to track someone who has received Casey Life Skills, trauma-informed training, and sexual harassment training. And this is driving me nuts. I could probably go to production and show you this because that isn't people. All right, so under resources, if I go to Grantee Details, pick a program, pick an agency, and I select, please don't just spin on me here too. All right, what we have is we have the grant information, and Brandon told me, and Brandon, you can unmute yourself and confirm this. Everybody should have their grant number on their contract. So if you add the grant information, you can enter the grant number, what the start date was, what the anticipated end date is, what your dollar amount for your grant was, and how many scheduled participants you plan to have. So you can put the number in, or you can use the up or down arrow. So say you're going to have 50 people that you plan to serve. Brandon, also, did we get a clarification about the difference between in school and out of school?
No, sorry, we did not.
Okay, so.
But all of this should be on their contract, besides maybe not the scheduled participants. That's the proposed number of youth that your agency was going to serve for this fiscal year 21. But that is in the NOSA, the notice of state award, the NOSA.
All right. So they will be able to find that information. All right.
Well, the start date, end date will be the same for everybody, September 1st through June 30th.
Okay, that's good.
Which I say because that's odd. That's not the same as any other grant because they're usually July 1st.
Correct. That's very true. Okay. So then for the staff completing the training, we add the staff person's name. If they have a middle initial, their last name, the date they completed their training, and then you just check the boxes for what training needs to be completed. This is in production right now so that you can get that added. Once you have a person in here and say you got somebody confused with somebody else and you entered the wrong date that they received the training, then you can click on that person's name and edit the information. I cannot right now show you the progress page because it wasn't working. Let me try one.
Hey, Dee.
Yes, ma'am.
So do we have to do an entry for each one of the classes, or can we do all three at one time?
If they completed them on all on the same day, you can.
Okay, all right. So
DK,
the answer would be
has it
yes.
been confirmed now that we do need to have all three of those, correct?
Brandon, yes, right?
Yes.
All right.
And will they be offered through ICOI?
Yes. They
Fantastic.
ICOI just sent out a updated trainings calendar, but it's also always available on their website too. I know they just sent out, they've got a lot more trauma informed. I'm not sure about the Casey, but I know there is more trainings, at least 2 more.
I'm sorry, Brandon, if this is redundant. So do our customers need to take these as well, or just us as staff providing services?
Just the staff.
You as staff.
Thank you.
Yes.
Brandon. Brandon?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Now with the trauma informed, are we just taking one class or do we need to have them take the 3 or 4 different trauma informed classes?
Well, I thought there was just one.
No, there's a
Like a-
vicarious, there's a supervisory, and just a regular trauma informed. Yep. There's a number of trauma related training.
I would think if somebody is a supervisor, they should take that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did it last spring, but it was still in person and it was one day, but there was different. Maybe they incorporated them all within one day because it was still in person.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Long as
last
they
year
take,
there was
long
only
as they
one.
take one, we just need to make sure they take one of the classes.
Yes.
Okay.
So Cecily Smith from Project Vision is asking if she completed CLS training in 10 of 2020, would she need to do it again?
No.
And you would just add that date. So Cecily, when you're adding that in that, this is only for your staff. So you can add the staff date in Illinois WorkNet whenever they finished it, whenever, or if you finished it.
2020 isn't an option.
Excuse me?
Adding a training that was completed in 2020 is not an option on my account.
Entering 2020? On logged in under Grantee Details and adding staff.
Yes.
So Project Vision, let me just go there. Is it Project Exploration or Project Vision?
Vision.
There. All right, so it was you that finished it,
Yes.
and your last name is Smith, and you finished it.
October 2nd.
Oh, I have to have him add 2020. All right, so add 2020 to staff
Thank you.
training. All right, thanks for pointing that out. All right. Okie doke. So Charlize is asking, so to be clear, CLS needs to be taken by licensed clinician, but other courses should be taken by everyone on staff, trauma and sexual harassment. Brandon?
Yes, sorry, I was unmuting myself. I mean, technically, it's everyone on staff that will be working with youth. So if you'll be working with the youth, then you have to take the sexual harassment, trauma informed, and Casey life skills.
Okay, so all staff who works with you also has to take the Casey life skills?
Yes.
And if you took it in 2020, do you still need to take it again in 2021? The sexual harassment and trauma informed is annually. Brandon, the Casey life skills is a one-time.
Yes. I'm gonna double check, but the way I understand it's once per year. So like the person that asked about October, then you wouldn't have to take it until October of next year.
Okay.
And I'm
And
pretty
fourth
sure.
quarter? How about if we check into that and I'll put it on the note for today's call in the partner guide.
Great. Well, hopefully I'll know before next Friday when we have the quarterly meeting.
Oh, good, good, good. Okay, all right. All right. I cannot show you the progress page, but on the progress page for an individual, oh, I don't want to go into an individual. They're on their progress page where we had NOCD and if they did employment 101 and all that kind of stuff. There are 2 columns of information. One is educational related, and all of those items are listed for the outcomes. And then the life skills outcomes are listed to the right-hand side. We will be adding the checkbox for if you uploaded the case plan for the customer. And then NOCD is no longer required as of July 1st. Casey Life Skills tracking is now available. So if you add the assessment in, it will track it. And then we talked about the stipend, we talked about the grants. Okay. All right, so we finished all of the updates. If you have any questions about the progress, I apologize for that not working. We'll try one more time before we're done with the call. The last piece, I promised you that we would help you get all of your other customers. If you've got one customer that has been enrolled, you cannot, if they've been enrolled, you cannot go back to edit their application. If they have not been enrolled and they filled out their application before January 12th, you still can go back and edit it. But in the event that you have a number of customers that have been enrolled and you're working with them, what I have, and I have added this as a document on the webinar piece from today. This is an Excel spreadsheet, and this has a spot for you to put the first name, last name, Illinois WorkNet ID, and the email address that they used to create their account. And then all you have to do is put an X in the items that they need to have added to their profile. So an X, and I don't care if it's a capital or a lowercase, just an X. If they do not have it, leave it blank. So that makes it easier. If you're going through there and one of your customers doesn't have any of these items, then you don't need to necessarily add them to the list. Only add the customers that have at least one of these situations, and then you're going to email me the list. I will compile it for my programmer and he will make the updates for your customers. Do I need to repeat that?
Hey, Dee.
Yes.
Yes.
And when you're done with this, maybe if you could, well, before you even show the list of all the risk factors, I just wanted to re-emphasize and remind everyone that we want to be reporting every risk factor. So if a youth has 8 of them, make sure you put all 8 of them, because this is really important information that we're always asked about. Right now, we're reporting on from last year, these risk factors. So don't just put one and stop. If they have like 7 or 8 of them, put all of them. Make sure we're reporting every risk factor.
Yes, so we want a first name. So maybe it's John. Oh, here, let's do this. Maybe it's Brandon Bax,
Yes.
and his WorkNet ID is 736 6377, and his email address is brandonbax@gmail.com, and he had 5 of these. So we're going to mark 5 of them. I think that's 5. So you're going to put an X in the items that they have. If you have a customer that does not have any of these situations applicable to them, you do not have to add that customer, because we will have our programmer mass update. So if you can go through these and have them filled out and back to me by next Tuesday, then we will get these updated, and hopefully we can have everything updated by our next meeting in February. Oh my goodness, it's going to be February for our next meeting.
Now, where's this document going to be again?
The document, let me show you where this document is going to be. It is, in fact, it is already on our training materials and videos. Let me put this link into the chat. Control V, enter. All right, this is already here on the page. It is right here. It's called Excel document. And that can be, you can open that, download it. Make sure that you do download it to your computer. Don't work on it in a web environment, so that you can make sure that the information saves. You don't want to have to re-enter all of that. And then email it to me, and I will update this to make sure that my email address is on there, and I'll put an end date on there as well. So right now I would like to have them all back by January 26th. All right, and then my last bit of information is I've got 4 agencies here that still need to update their service finder information. So Beach, I saw you in the call. We need Aunt Martha's updated. Puerto Rican Cultural Center needs to be updated. JCFS needs to be updated. If that's not your address, we need to have your particular site added. Each location needs to have their own site listed in the service finder. If we need to update something for you, because you don't have a user that has access to the service finder, please let me know that. And or if you are an existing agency that did do the updates and your management team has changed so that you need to add a new user, we can fix that for you so that you can have somebody that can make those updates. You need to go to the service finder administration Beach and update your information on the service finder, and the link is in that list right there. And there's a whole bunch of stuff that needs to be updated. So it's like, what services do you provide? It's contact information, it's address information. So there's a lot of information that may need to be updated. You just need to take a look. And that may not be your job, Beach, but it may be, you know, you need to pass that on to somebody that can get that done. All right. I'm going to check one more time in test to see if anybody happened to fix this for me. No. All right. All right. So I'm done to be able to help you guys right now. I will take screenshots and try to post them somewhere so that you guys can see. I do have to make sure that the instructions are updated. I will get those done by the end of the week. Okie doke. Let me check the chat for any questions here. I'm going to try to upload the recording before the end of the day today. Lorena asks, the Casey Life Skills has been completed and added in the assessment tab, but it is still showing as missing in the overview tab under progress. I have to have a programmer look at that. So Casey, not showing on overview. Okay, I will have a programmer look at that. Toby says, where do I put my summaries for the customers? In the assessments piece, and I have updated this in the directions under career plan.
Yeah, I was looking for a specific place to write summaries for each customers, but there's nothing there.
There is in the and I can't get to a real person right now. So let me find the instructions.
So but it's in assessments.
Correct. It's in assessments, and under the assessment for the Casey Life Skills, there is a spot right here that says results.
Okay, I've typed things in there, but it's still not clearing in the section of the customer's application where all those little red dots are, and it's still showing up red.
Right. So I've got to have the programmer look at
that
okay. Because
I thought I was doing something wrong.
Yeah, that's just a disconnect there.
Okay.
But you do need to upload the full set of results to the customer upload tab. Okay.
I just thought there was another section for me to write a summary for their overall performance in the program. And I'm like, where do I put this? But you've answered my question.
All right. Okay. So then the other thing that you can do under that add assessment summary, you can put some of that information in there if you need to, but we expanded the results portion for the Casey Life Skills under the other assessments so that you can put a synopsis of the overall results and then just upload the whole document. And I will have the programmer check to make sure that those overview pages work, because it was working on the progress page, but the overview page may have been overlooked to make that update.
Right. Okay.
All right. Is Casey Life Skills training still available to register for? If so, where can we find the registration? Brandon, if you want to send me a link for the ICOI, I will put that on the webinar page information too.
Okay. I want to say it's icoiyouth.org, but I'll send it to you for sure.
All right. Or else if anybody else has it, wants to put it in the chat right now, we can do that. Where do we add the case plan after they have completed the CLSA? On the customer's uploads, and I guess I should probably, I don't know if I can make this any bigger, but right here, there's an uploads tab on the customer profile. You want to upload it to that. Oh, let me grab this link here. Thank you, Finley. Yeah. Okay, I will put that into the list too, or unless you guys want to click on that link that Fanny just put in there. Lita, Brandon, Lita has a comment on here that says on the ICOI website, there are various trauma trainings. Which one should we sign up for?
That is what I'm going to ask our director about. I've got that written down to ask about, because that was what I was talking about last year. I went, it was still in person, so it was all one day. So there was only one training you could do last year, but I guess that's changed.
Yeah.
Brandon, will you also ask them about the sexual harassment one? Because that's not listed.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank
I have
you.
that written down too. And then the other thing is how often, because I'm pretty sure it's, every 365 days, but I'm going to find out for sure.
The sexual harassment training is put out by, it's put out by, oh my goodness, by the Department of Human Rights. Let me type this link in here. They're the ones that track everybody. And my my work comp insurance carrier actually sent me the PDF that I could review. And then there's a helpline too. And here's one more. There's one more link. So hopefully Fanily's asking, so Brandon, I would, I know what my answer would be on this question. Can the sexual harassment training be accepted from our organization if we have our own certification via leadership development?
I'm not sure.
I think it was stated that every single employee, contractor, everybody in the state of Illinois needed to complete some form of sexual harassment training. So if you want to check on that with the powers that be.
I added it to my list of things to get answers to.
All right. Okay. Anything else that we can answer for you?
Hey, Dee, I have a question for Brandon as well. Brandon, we are looking at credentials like Coursera, and there's one called HubSpot, and we didn't know if those would qualify for industry recognized credentials.
For your customers, for your customers to participate in?
Yes. Yes, so for the participation of the clients, HubSpot has some marketing certifications. So we didn't know, but we didn't want to enroll anybody if they're not going to be qualified certifications.
Could you email them to me, the specific examples?
Yes, I can. I'll send you the link in an email so that you can look it over and get back to us, because we have a high school that is actually wanting to take this on, and we have about 10 to 15 students that were interested, and I put them on hold till I could verify.
Okay. Yeah, if you could email it to me, I can check it for you for sure.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
No problem.
I missed a question from Daryl from Community Ed, and it says, will there develop new steps on their career plan? And I forgot what I was talking about then, Daryl. So if you want to open up your mic and talk to me.
Yeah, sorry, I had some typos. I was moving too fast as well. But I was asking, so based on the case plan that we do after they complete the Casey Life Skills Assessment, we upload that. Should we be adding steps to their career plan based on that? Or because my profile has like so many pre-populated goals that really don't pertain to our program or our customers.
And that's what we were talking about, the evaluated and not required. So you can clear through those if they're not applicable. Then based on their case plan, you may need to add some steps and goals to their career plan, because that's the only way we'll be able to track them for PPR in Illinois WorkNet.
So how do you remove these? Like I have gains
can't remove
employment
them.
twice. Huh?
You can't remove them. You can only mark them as evaluated, not required.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you.
Does that make sense for you?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Kate, which link did you look at for the?
I looked at the, I went to both links. The first link you sent is where I found the actual sexual harassment training schedule. The second link only took me to a page that was videos. They're just videos to watch, like PSA 4, PSA 3, sexual harassment.
All right, because I actually got this document downloadable from my insurance provider. And I printed off them for all of my employees and had them read it and then sign the release. So
Okay.
I believe that my insurance provider got me this document from one of these websites.
Okay, I will look for that document. Thank you very much.
And this is Janice with Urbana Connection Center. We also had, I think it's I couldn't see yours real clear, but I think those are the ones that we had, where there's several slide presentations in the training that you had for your.
It was 39 slides.
Yes. So that's what we did. And actually, reading through everything and getting the information from our CPA, I mean, I think it was such that if you don't have a certificate on file or some documentation to show that all the employees were trained, there could be a fine, you know, in the event the state were to come in. But we just simply went through all those slides and provided the training. And then there is a certificate at the very end. And they could just complete the certificate. So I just want to share, that's the exact site that we printed ours off of.
That's what I did. That's what I did with mine too. I know that my college counterparts had like a 4-hour training that they had to sit through. That was an online interactive video training. So 39 PowerPoint slides is a snap compared to 4 hours of video training.
But Kate should know, because I did realize that there is a separate or a different training for bars and restaurants that actually would link you to off of the one that we use.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else that you guys have questions about that we need to keep the entire group for?
Hi, Anthony here.
Hi, Anthony. I've missed you.
Aw, well, I can see you when you can't see me. I was wondering if Brandon could help. Our ED is looking for coverage. Is there anything preventing us from having more than one agency partner for specific certificate training? So, you know, we sent MOUs for our initial partner. We want to have more partners for CNA, for example. We have more than one partner for one thing. When it comes to like CNA, when it comes to like cybersecurity, any of those things that are part of category 3 or category 2. Does that make sense?
That's a Brandon question. So Brandon, can they have more than one training provider partner, right?
Yes, for a single training group, like nursing or, you know. We don't see why not, but we just want to make sure that we're not running afoul of anything that we didn't see anything to that effect. But once again, my ED wants coverage.
Brandon, are you still with us?
Yes, but Anthony was cutting in and out. As far as having more than one partner, yes, you can, but each one, of course, has to have not only the MOU, but they have to do their own. Well, assuming that they'll be paid by you, by the grantee, then they'll have to have their own budget and everything too approved. So it's just yes, but it's more work.
Okay. Okay. Is anyone else, as far as like other agencies, having this issue where big partners like Olive Harvey doesn't write MOUs? No one else is experiencing that? Chicago State has a step-up program we want to refer for a CNA, but they say they don't do MOUs.
Well, we have to have an MOU.
Okay. We'll make it work.
Okay, yeah. Just, you know, of course, we have to know, we have to have the MOU and the subcontractor budget, which is just like your budget. I mean, even if it's just, you know, it's not going to be nearly as detailed as your budget as being an agency, but we still have to have something.
Sounds good. Thank you.
No problem.
I think Beach is saying, okay, so Goldie Fleming asked, Brandon, can we go in and make changes to our budget now? I have a few updates. And then Beach says, I'm having those issues as well, but I don't know if it's budget or if it's what Anthony was just talking about. And then Fanalise says that BGCC is also working with Olive Harvey and there is a delay. And she put her email in there for you to chat with her. Okay, and so Beach is saying the MOU as well. So Brandon, I'm wondering, is there a possibility of your department giving the agencies a letter that might help them develop that MOU with those schools?
I don't see why not. I mean, we could give them something acknowledging the grant.
Yeah, I think that might be helpful, or a standard MOU that you guys want to see enacted.
Yeah, to be fair to Brandon, you know, not wanting to put extra work, I hope that my sound is coming clearer through now. It's not so much that, you know, they don't want to work with us, right? Mine is stuck in the legal department right now. It's more a function of size, right? They're willing to take my people and what have you, but this idea of us, you know, supporting them, you know, with this $15 an hour, right? That's what requires the MOU. And if you could kind of like conceptualize with me, if you have a small player or a relatively small player, like let's say Ms. D had an LLC, it makes sense to have that MOU with Ms. D's organization because we want to make sure that she's legit. We want to make sure that she's going to respond to our work assessments for the participant. We want to make sure that we have that partnership. But with some of these bigger players, they want to help us, but they just don't have time for us, so to speak. So it's not that, you know, we don't have access and we're not having those communications. The letter may help, it may not, but it's about that size, right? When you get to that size, that MOU becomes less important to them. And just, for example, taking my cybersecurity clients or taking my CNA clients and helping them, I just want to be able to pay them, to support them while they're doing those trainings. And that MOU is contingent, is necessary for that. And that's the challenge.
Okay, so it's more about the number of youth.
Yeah, but, you know, but make no mistake, we'll make it work. We'll make it work.
Anthony, why can't you pay them yourself? Why is this school? Why do you want Olive Harvey to pay them?
And that's what I'm trying to say. I'm actually the one paying, but as far as we understand from the NOSA, we're not able to pay anyone going anywhere unless we have an MOU with that target place. So in these sort of like examples that I'm giving now, my CNA participant that I'm sending to Chicago State University using the Step Up program, she'll be
funded as far as like the scholarship for the tuition, but her living expenses, right, that allow us to take her as the category 3 for those 9 months, right, and pay that $15 an hour for 30 hours a week. We, according to what I understand, you can correct me, can't do that unless I have an MOU with Chicago State University. Which is fine, we'll get it. I'm just saying it's taking longer.
I want to say, you know, category 3 is new for us because we didn't have anything like that before with youth employment, but I'm pretty sure you're right on that for category 3, that you have to have an MOU because that's what makes it category 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Ms. Mensah, I hope I haven't confused more than I've helped.
Just a little bit, but we're not doing category 3, so I guess I won't understand.
So Beach is saying that most colleges are looking for that MOU as well. Or.
And may I ask also, Brendan, as it relates to, you had mentioned the budget for the partners that we have MOUs with. Can you go into that a little bit more detail?
Brandon.
I'm sorry.
Is it a subcontractor?
No,
because not very many agencies actually have a subcontractor. If you don't have a subcontractor, you don't have to have a budget independent of your own agency's budget.
Right. Okay. I just wanted clarity on that because I think we were talking about two different things. The organizations that we have MOUs with who will be taking our participants for, say, certification programs, we don't need to explore their budget. This would only be for organizations that may serve as a subcontractor, correct?
Correct. Only for if they're a subcontractor.
Okay, thank you.
Makia's has a question about regarding staff training. If one staff member has already taken a trauma training, are we meeting the requirements, or do all staff members have to take a trauma training?
It's all staff members who will be working with youth. If they're only going to be doing finances and reports, then they wouldn't have to be like your financial person. If they never work with youth, then they wouldn't have to take the training. But to cover yourself, everyone who works with youth would have to take the trainings.
Okay, so Goldie never got an answer to her question. Can we go in and make changes to our budget now? She has a few updates.
No, and we will cover that more next Friday because we're still getting a lot of budget questions. Well, I guess it's yes and no. You can't go into CSA, into the system, and make changes to your budget. You can do a budget revision at any time, and that's only if you're changing more than 10%. And you can do that on your monthly expenditure report. And if it's less than 10%, you don't even have to do a budget revision. You can move money around if it's less than 10% of your total amount, or each line item. 10% is the key.
So Goldie says it's people. Does that mean it's the number of people that you're going to serve?
No, it means that I have moved some staff around.
Staff,
So
yeah.
people who are moved off of this program, and I have other people I brought on. So I need to change the names of the individuals that are providing those, that are in those roles.
Okay, and a lot of people have that with staff. You don't need to do a budget revision just for staff or a budget amendment, but you can put that on your expenditure report. Like instead of just listing 4 staff, you can put their names on there. But more importantly, and this is what I was going to remind everybody about next week too, is that you need to email me when you have staff changes. Especially like if it's a financial person. We just had someone change and that delayed their payment because we didn't even know that they had a new financial person. But any person, you can email me the change so I can update my contact list.
And then if there's access required for Illinois WorkNet, I need to know about that. I mean, you guys have the ability to get into user management and add or subtract people. But if you're having problems with that and you haven't done it before, then, and I need to help you, then I kind of need to know. If you're adept at making those changes on your own, then don't worry about including me.
Hey, Dee, I got a question for Brandon. Did you send out the updated PPR?
No, there is no PPR yet.
Oh, okay, there
That's
is no.
what,
Okay.
no, our goal is to have that by next Friday, but I don't know if it'll be done by then. It's gonna have to be a brand new report.
Okay.
So right now it's just the monthly expenditure reports is all you're required to do.
Okay, monthly expenditures. Okay.
And please email me when there's staff changes. You're required to do that too. So please let me know when there's staff changes. And I need their email address and their full name, email address, and if there's a phone number, that helps too.
All right, anything else for the good of the group?
Just a big thank you to you all for all your hard work.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate that. All right, I will get the recording posted as soon as possible. I think Daryl and Makia, you had some questions, so I'm going to stop the recording now. Everybody have a great rest of your afternoon.
Thank you, Dee.
Thank you, Dee.